Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. And I guess in this particular video, I wanted to show off, well, some of my past stuff. Perhaps I wanted to do a reminder about what I had done. Let's see, yeah, 6 years ago, I had done Xenogears. It was a rather ambitious thing for me to do because I barely knew what the heck I was even doing on here, really. So yeah, let's see, we got parts up to part 6. Yeah, I really love this game, Xenogears. It was quite ambitious to do an RPG. And I think at some point I am going to try to go back. But I think I also wanted to show off, to show how my video quality has drastically enhanced. So, but go back to part 6. I remember part 6 is where I was in the Galactic Cave. I just met Bart, and we ended up sinking in the sand, and now we have to figure out how to get out of the galactic cave. So it's not particularly far in the game, but there's a lot of stuff that happens before that. Anyway, well, let's show some of this video
Hey there,
quality there.
folks. It's E-Man here. Last we left off, we had fallen in a pit and met the new character Bart. Now we have to figure out how to get out of this darn cave.
Yeah, when I was shooting this, I was basically had a camera on my laptop focusing on a television. So it was very iffy quality, as you can see. It's like, yeah, I like how the gear fights are almost like irregular combat. You can earn abilities to punch and attack and stuff. You have to use fuel up. It's not a particularly hard game, but of course it has tons of random battles. I mean, yeah, there's like random battles every every 2 minutes or something. So you kind of have to hurry up and figure out where you're going because you end up running out. So, yeah, it was, as I said, this was a very ambitious thing. Oh yes, I was playing this on a PlayStation 3 on a television, and I couldn't. Of course, you can't really capture footage off of that. I was able to do it without reflections and stuff. I had to really adjust the light to do this, but yeah. Plus, this is PlayStation 1 graphics, so they look a little bit choppy anyway. Even with the enhancements that you could do on the PlayStation 3. Yeah, you can play PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation 3. Put that out there. I think you had to use a older. I think older capture cards had the ability to capture from the PlayStation 3, but for the most part, these modern ones cannot capture from it because the PlayStation 3 has some weird. PlayStation 3 has some kind of weird display thing that makes it so you can't really record from the PlayStation 3, even if you have. Yeah, even if I plugged the PlayStation 3 into the capture device, it wouldn't work. Now what? Yeah, see, I was adjusting the volume on the television. Yeah. Oh, you can almost see my reflection. And you almost see my room, the room there behind me. Yeah. Now this level takes quite a while. This level is you're going to be in your gear mostly. There's a dude here where you can upgrade your gear and get more. Upgrade your gears over the course of the game. Yeah, this is still even on disc 1. I thought I just wanted to do some reminisce about some of my previous kind of videos way back when. I can't believe this was 6 years ago. I was rather ambitious with this channel. Well, I think I remember I had a lot of extra time a few years ago. I don't have as much time as I used to have. Yay. Got it. Okay, let's go look at something else here. In my channel, let's see, what else would I like to think to look at? Where's my other videos? Let's see.
Hey there, folks. Is the email.
Yeah. Who's that handsome fella there?
Alien versus Predator.
I was back in West Virginia. I was in that weird white room that was so huge.
Emulator. I had done a previous video of this, and I didn't realize that the game sound was actually a little too loud, and no one could hear what I'm saying. But yes.
Now this was what, 6 years? Yeah, this was 6 years ago.
As you can see, it looks pretty good. I mean,
yeah, this game has not been re-released on anything.
There'll be times that I will pause this.
Yeah, I mean the Alien vs Predator has not been. It hasn't been re-released on anything as far as I know. There was a Capcom arcade pad that had games built into it, and I think that was on it. But yeah, even in the Capcom Beat 'em Up collection, we did not get this yet. So this game pretty much stuck on emulation. I don't think there's any other way to play it at this moment, unless somehow it's available somewhere. But I don't think. I think this game is still locked on the arcades because I think it's some kind of yeah. I'm sure it's a licensing issue or something with Capcom, and well, now Disney owns 20th Century Fox. I mean, there's a whole big issue. But when I heard that the movie was coming out, I thought that the Alien vs Predator movie, was going to be this. But unfortunately, not. I'm a big letdown. Yeah, I mean, the premise of this game is just incredible. And it's one of the more early Capcom beat 'em ups. Back when Capcom could really do some massive stuff there. As you can see, I was using Logitech way back when. Of course, I'm using different Logitech ones now.
Where I will pause this and I'll talk about parts
Oh.
Get started here.
Yeah, that's where the opening has no sound because that's how the demo thing works. Oh.
Back to the game. I can't. I feel embarrassed to tell you how much.
Oh, there was my Tim Kitty. My Tim Cat was back there. Is he the Tim Cat? Man, was he teeny back then? He's a huge giant now. And my cat back there.
Yeah, and basically,
I didn't even notice he was back there.
Ripley character.
He's like,
kind of like an Arnold.
Wow, is he a teeny fella? Yeah, we had to put a collar and a bell on him.
Most of the characters kind of handle the same. They'll have like a blast to this game.
Yeah, I was playing this on the Kawan's emulator, I believe. Kawan's emulator.
darn it.
Yeah, I was using the Kwanzaa. Yeah, yeah, the Kawana's yeah, the Kawana's thing there, because that was the way I emulated that. Yeah, that's funny. Well, remember when you played this in arcades, you would usually spend about
Basically, every
$4 to
time
get to where
you
you got.
defeat
Yeah, you would spend like $4 to get to this point. Yeah, every time you defeat a boss in this arcade game, you're gonna want to scream too, especially yell too. Especially back then, when a lot of these bosses were just really tough. Yeah, this was like designed to be a quarter buncher, so you can only take like two direct hits and then you're dead. You've got a special weapon you can use that overheats. This guy looks more like an Arnold kind of character because he's of course he's supposedly a synthetic. So you see, he has a robotic arm there. It has like a machine gun thing. I think the aliens in this are very unique. That someone like discovered how to really make this game feel particularly unique with the different types of aliens that you fight. Eventually, fight soldiers and stuff too. All right, let's see. What else do we want to look at here? Check out my channel again. I I admit we're just some reminiscing stuff. Let's see. Okay, let's go look back at Aladdin because I know recently I just did a video about that game. So that's what kind of board reminiscing here.
Hey there, folks. It's me, E-Man here. And today,
Yeah, you can't really hear my voice really. Let's see if I can turn this up.
I'm on Super NES. So I'm the analog Super Nintendo, whatever. Super NES, Fable.
Oh yes, this was when I had gotten my analog console and I'd gotten this game Aladdin and I had to really clean it to get it to run on it. But yeah, basically I'm doing the same thing I did with the Xenogears, where I'm recording this right off of the TV. But I really took the time. Luckily, my room was not too huge, and it was rather easy to get my room dark, so I could easily do this. But as you can see, I have a lot of issues with everything looks so bright. You know, the basic issues. As well as many of you can tell, obviously my quality has definitely, I've definitely been able to improve. So I have improved somewhat.
One with no sword. See here, it really tries to show, the storyline of the movie. They show
Yeah, it's really showing the storyline and stuff of the movie. The Super Nintendo. I like it. Pretty cool.
He's Aladdin.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I used to do a lot of coughing when I was recording a lot. A lot of people told me that a lot of that was. I think I had. I had a really bad like acid reflux, so I was like kind of constantly coughing. Plus, I was not drinking enough water and like a bunch of other things. I think I'm feeling a lot better now than I did back then. But, yeah, I don't really have to cough as much anymore. Or if I do, I just make sure I drink plenty of water. Yeah, acid reflux. Maybe sometimes I didn't eat particularly well back then. Yeah. Well, I remember like my mother was living in Maine. And I was living with my brother, and he worked nights, so I didn't really see him much. So yeah, I didn't get to see him much. So it was. I'll admit I did not eat very well back then. But anyway, especially with I have sleep apnea. I know maybe you've probably seen the machine back there. Yeah, I have some issues with that, but thankfully it seems to be doing okay. Oh well, currently here it's the weather is weird. Like the weather is trying to be warm, but it just won't stay warm. Like we've had last 2 nights were pretty cold. I think tomorrow is supposed to be 60 degrees, another crazy warm day, and then it starts slowly cooling off again. So it's freaking crazy. Well, we're here in Maine, and the weather's really trying to warm up, but it just seems to warm up for like a day or whatever. It reminds me of most of the weather we were having in West Virginia when I was there. But anyway, yeah.
Gems, green gems, but there's also the red gems to get.
Yeah, see, the green gems are the one. If you get enough of those, you get extra
Those
life.
treasure
This extra life.
chests.
The red ones are kind of a bonus ones that you get. I don't know what you get if you unlock it or something. But of course, here you have to, of course, defeat enemies by jumping on their heads. I found if you hold the jump button when you land on something, it makes you go a little bit higher. Yeah,
Yeah,
scarab thingies. You don't have a sword in this game, but Aladdin didn't have a sword till the end of it.
control apples to incapacitate baddies.
This is definitely at the peak of Konami.
Oh, stage complete.
As you can see, this is
The
I
scarab.
was able to get this to look pretty well. Yeah, you occasionally see the shadows and lights back there.
To get the genie's bonus round at the end of
So able to try to get it looking a little bit better,
stage. Yeah.
but it's still being done like the same way I've always done it.
Of course, the original Aladdin game, the genie was voiced by Robin Williams.
Yep, the great Robin Williams. He will always be the genie. The genie even looks like him. That was like the whole kind of point of it. I'm unhappy that Disney supposedly Disney screwed over Robin Williams, and that was why he didn't do the voice in the later animated series. Yeah, also another weird thing that Disney did. I think Disney has made. I don't think you can watch the original, the Aladdin animated show. I don't think you can watch it anymore. I don't know if you can find it on DVD somewhere, but supposedly Disney is not going to put that on Disney Plus, the animated Aladdin series. I'm like, why not? There's probably licensing issues. They might be concerned, so I might try to sue them or something over some kind of issue. Because as we know, they had someone else do Robin Williams' voice on was it on Return of Jafar or yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, there was probably some licensing issues or whatnot. They just had certain issues. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess Disney's chosen to like pretend that the animated series of Aladdin didn't exist. What's funny was the animated series seemed to be betterly animated than Return of Jafar was. Those like direct to video sequels that Disney did of like they did that to the Lion King. The animation just took a nosedive. Of course, this game was done incredibly well at Capcom. Definitely one of the best Super Nintendo games, I think. All right, let's see. Yes, I could do something else here. Let's see. yeah, just wanted to kind of reminisce here a little bit. And it's best to know where we come from, and then we know where to go forward from here. I think. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, this was like my first. This is my ultimate like playthrough. 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing. Yeah, I'm basically playing. Wow. Jeez. Oh hey, this was when I this got here too. Wow, this is when I
Hey
first.
there, folks. Today on the E-Man Show, we're trying to play.
Yeah, this is like the first time I got here. Well, this was when I first came here to Maine. This was like, yeah, I'm wearing my Zelda shirt. I still have that shirt. It's weird. Yeah, because when I first came here, I had my bed where all this is, and you can tell I didn't really didn't have a lot. Didn't really have my room kind of set up the way I have it now. But yeah, you can see how barren that room looks compared to the room compared to my room now. Let's see. Yeah, look at my room now. It's like, yeah, look at that. Yeah, my room is a lot more unique than was then. That was my first kind of really streamed from home too.
Ninja Turtles 3. That was a
I think I did a better review of me when I was doing that. It's like Bummer Dudes and Shredder. You want them back? Come and get them. I loved this game. I remember I couldn't play this game enough. Yeah, I used to rent this game. I used to rent this game a lot. This was a late release on NES. So this always feels like this should have been like a Super Nintendo game. There's a lot of NES games. This is a beat 'em up style. Or cool. I love this game. I still had NES. I didn't have like newer consoles. Yeah, the Super Nintendo. The game came out in 1990 or 1994 or something. Because I'm playing this on I was playing this on the JNES. I dig that. Yeah, it's like almost everyone had already moved on. So here we are. But now NES, this game must have been in development for a while, and just had to release it. Like Castlevania 3, which I like, but it's also another one of these games. NES comes. Let's see. Find some highlights in this video. As you can see, I'm actually playing this. I was playing this half the time. Wow, this was 5 years ago? Wow, I've been here in Maine a lot.
Uh-oh. shotgun.
I like to chew my tongue when I play games. I do it like subconsciously, even though I'm even doing it. Yeah, Slash. He is. I lost 4 lives fighting this guy. Yeah, he is. I might be using cheats on this. Yeah, because I remember him usually. Yeah, is this a big boss?
He's dead.
I think in Turtles in Time, this is the bridge from Turtles in Time. Yeah, because whenever in Turtles in Time, you see the bridge being worked on, being repaired. This is the bridge. Yeah, this boss is really annoying. It's that balls all the time. Yeah, I must say I didn't finish live. Yeah, this is when I branched out and I didn't have to play with, I didn't have to have cameras looking at televisions. I was able to capture this like, right off of my computer. But that was back when I only had one monitor, so it was a lot harder to do at that time. But my quality definitely got better. It was like one of my first long plays. Hour and 21 minutes. Let's do that. And Leatherhead, he is a really annoying boss. This looks like Robbie the Robot. This looks like weird looking robot dudes. But a lot of times you just fight the same pixels. Yeah, I remember this. You have to fight Shredder. And it's like, yeah, this game is really long. Turtles 3 is a lot longer than I really loved it. Shredder, and then we have to chase him to the top of the building. And we have to ride an elevator. I'll beat him up to have an elevator fight, or like Streets of Rage. Man, I gotta play some more classic games. Games are much easier to play. The games I can easily pick up. Instead of that classic sprite flicker. Play this on the Cowabunga. Yeah, if you play this on the Cowabunga collection, there is no sprite flicker and no slowdown. You can fix a lot of those problems. The sprite flicker is a problem. You can take all that away. Not only that, the Cowabunga collection also added vibration. So whenever you're attacking or getting hit, you can feel a vibration, which is kind of an interesting thing to employ on a game that was never really meant to ever have that. Yeah, as you see the Empire State Building in the background, and you unfortunately see the trade towers in the background. Yeah, this game was kind of stuck on the NES. It only, I think it just on the Cowabunga collection is the first time I think the game was actually re-released on anything. Some of the Turtle games were on the Wii Virtual Console for a while, but then they got delisted and disappeared. Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. A lot of the Turtles games got pulled off of the Wii Virtual Console. So yeah, I think the first Turtle game was yeah. So yeah, Turtles 3 was kind of an interesting game. It was kind of stuck on the NES or on an emulation. It's pretty much the only ways you could play it now. Yeah, it's just very impressive. Now let's go look at a different game. Since let's go look at a different game here. Oh yes, this was 6 years ago. Another one of my favorite games. Yes,
know,
Castle.
is that a
Is
lot
that
of
a lot of
Castlevania games were
Castlevania
mainly a Nintendo affair. Like, it's very unusual for Castlevania game to really be on anything else around this era. But I guess Konami decided to make a Sega Genesis Castlevania game. I think it's one of the only other major game I think that was ever a Castlevania game that was on a Sega system. I believe was
Yeah, who's that handsome fellow there? Yeah, I was really explaining how this game was particularly very unique. This game was stuck on the Genesis for a while. The Genesis Mini came out, and then that had it on it, and then of course we've had some Castlevania collections with Bloodlines on it. So yeah, so Bloodlines is now one a game, Castlevania game that is much more easier to get access to rather than having to play on emulation or have it physically. I have this game physically. I remember back in the day I bought yeah, they re-released the Sega Genesis, and Castlevania Bloodlines happened to be one of the games that came with it. I remember I went and bought the game and then it didn't have the Sega. Then I went to Toys R Us and you could get like a Genesis for like 50, excuse me, like $50. I think my stepbrother bought a Game Gear because they had re-released a bunch of stuff. Yeah, this is unique. I mean, this was one of the only like kind of Sega Castlevania games. Besides that Castlevania game, yeah, the Castlevania game Resurrection that got canceled, that was supposed to be on the Dreamcast. That was Sega console. And technically, Symphony of the Night, there is a version of that for the Saturn. Usually that is, well, I mean, it's considered it to have some glitches or problems. Yeah, so the only other real Sega Castlevania game is Sympathy of the Night. Of course, it was in Japan only. Yeah, this was of course 6 years ago. You can see I'm in the room. The vacuum cleaner. I got it's like yeah, that was back in West Virginia. I had great lighting in that room. I really did. I miss it. I mean, having had much big was living in a much bigger house at that time in West Virginia. It was here. Let's see other things. Yeah, this game takes place in 1917, which yeah, they tried to link Bram Stoker's Dracula to Castlevania. I think. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so you have two antagonists in this game. I know a lot of you probably know this, but yeah, John Morris. He's the son of Quincy Morris from Bram Stoker's Dracula, which doesn't really make any sense. Born in Texas. Then we have, of course, Eric Licard, and supposedly he was given this spear weapon. Alucard actually gave him this spear weapon. I think within the timeline, this takes place after the events of Sympathy of the Night. So supposedly Alucard found the Alucard spear in Castlevania when he was in Sympathy of the Night, and then he gave that to Eric Licard. There are some fan games that fully explain how how the Licard family got the spear, and of course these two guys, of course, they are descendants of the Belmonts. They're not direct descendants, but they are they're like cousins of the Belmonts or something you could say. So, of course, Eric Licard was born in Spain. I feel like he kind of looks kind of feminine sometimes, more than John. And of course, John Morris has the regular vampire killer whip. Yeah, it was an interesting thing. Yeah, there's a lot of storyline for Alucard. We may not actually talk about Alucard showing up, but I assume that he did. Yeah, like this right here. Holy crap, that is really cool. This was 6 years ago. I'm impressed that I had. Well, this video is pretty good. What's the caption this really good job with this. Oh. Well, okay there, folks. I just want to do some quick reminiscing about some of my previous videos. Yeah, I have since done other videos about Bloodlines and was finally able to beat it. I think I've beaten it as Eric Lecard and John Morris on my YouTube channel. And sometimes we need to know where we came from so we know where we're going. So yeah, I mean, it's things definitely changed since then. It's just kind of funny to look back at 6 years ago. Because I think I ultimately knew what I wanted to do with the channel. I really wanted to do a real focus on playing games. That's the way I was back then. I was a lot more ambitious about things. Yeah, now it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know. I have a lot of I have a lot of more responsibilities now. So yeah, it can be rather hard. You have to like balance out your life, and being an adult just kind of stinks sometimes. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad that I'm able to get somewhat I'm able to get like I appreciate people's like words of encouragement and stuff. I know a lot of you guys are going to be comments are very positive, and I do appreciate that. It's been well, it's been kind of a long road here doing YouTube. It's been a learning experience. I think as I've said before in many videos, I've had to kind of learn how to do a lot of this stuff on the fly. Like, I just had to figure it out. And I don't do very well at trying new things, so it was kind of a push for me to really do this. It took some courage for me to finally like want to let's talk to a camera, especially like I'm doing now. I've been kind of comfortable doing that. It has been a nice outlet because, well, believe it or not, I don't have a lot of people. I don't really hang out with a lot of people. I'm usually mostly here playing games most of the time. Yeah, I mean, ouch! Sorry, my cat just jumped in my lap. He's got sharp claws. Ouch. Bad kitty. It's my Timby. Oh, hey Tim cat. See him? He's a lot bigger now. He's a lot bigger now than when you saw him in that other video. Hey buddy. He's a good cat. He just likes to a lap cat. You just have to look out for him. I don't see him coming. He jumps and claws go right in my leg. Darn beast. He's a good old fella. He's a good fellow. That made me finally realize how old he is, too. Had him for quite a while. He's a good old cat. Well, anyway, I guess this is going to kind of wrap this up. It's been kind of interesting for me to reminisce a little bit. See, like I can make fun of myself. I'm very comfortable making fun of myself and looking at my flaws and saying, well, gee, that was really dumb, or I didn't do something particularly good. But this is interesting for me to reminisce and kind of look at this stuff. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as always. And feel free to leave any comments. If you guys want me to do other videos like this in the future, kind of talking about some of my older stuff, as I've said, I'm going to try to start doing some of the stuff that I had left behind. I had contemplated playing Xenogears again from the beginning, because I have DuckStation here and I can play it in like much better quality and just kind of completely replace those older videos. Yeah, I may have to start thinking about getting rid of some of these older videos. If they're not really getting views anymore, I probably need to start getting rid of some of my older videos on here. Well, of course, I mean, a lot of these videos I don't have, I don't have hard copies of them on my computer anymore. Plus, I'm using a different computer. Plus, I didn't really, I'll have to go on my old computer, try to find some older videos. But I have been trying to have to kind of delete videos. I don't have a whole lot of room on my computer here to save stuff. So, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so, I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed so far. And, maybe hopefully I can be doing this for another 6. Yeah, I'm going to be doing this. I really like doing this. It's been really, really fun, and I, we appreciate the support, positive vibes people give me. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to keep going here. Hopefully enjoy another 6 years, hopefully. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Doing some more videos, I guess. Catch you guys later. Bye.